Maneva I say ma PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV there osia dem yopo.
Hello guys, you are once again welcome to PENDREAM TV, your number one hub for political updates and latest news in Ghana and beyond. Today we bring you another interesting episode, and this time is between Kofi Bentil and Sammy Gyamfi. As we all know, Kofi Bentil to be a secret disciple of the MPP, doing everything possible to bring this administration down, has gone on earth again to peddle another falsehood about the Gold Board institution. And the host, not letting him end there or being biased, has phoned in Sammy Gyamfi to say his side of the story. And lo and behold, Sammy Gyamfi has clarified everything and bring the lies in his allegation. Without much ado, I would like you to join me listening to what he said here on PENDREAM TV. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like and also share to other members to watch as well. Thank you.
It is a function of how state resources are deployed. We are seeing a lot of policy incoherence in those two industries. Let me explain policy incoherence. One side is pulling to the left, another side is pulling to the right. Today, we don't want Galamsey, but we are buying Galamsey gold to shore up the city and hold the economy together.
And we expect to get more. You constantly say this, and I've always said that is there any data or proof
it's clear.
to show?
It is clear.
The
data shows that a lot of the gold we are buying now is coming from small-scale mining.
Small-scale miners.
Let me finish. Small-scale mining is up to 85% Galamsey. All right?
If you want to license small-scale miners?
Masa, I said we are buying small-scale mining gold. And small-scale mining gold is 85% illegal mining. The facts are there.
I say that the Gold Board has constantly indicated they buy gold from licensed small-scale miners, unless you have information that's contrary to that.
I'm saying so. You see, and now
so again, I think just to answer that question from the Gold Board, the Gold Board CEO himself had talked about the fact that currently traceability is a problem, and they are working to be able to fix the traceability. And again, if you want to do the math, currently, they are producing about 52% of the gold.
Yes.
The licensed small-scale miners, you will be able to do and find out how much of everybody produces, you know.
Okay. Yes. So there's a policy incoherence there. You have the cocoa area too. There's a policy incoherence there. If we process more cocoa, we'll get more money. But we've sold the cocoa beans in forward sales. And Felix will tell you we need the money to show up the economy. So clearly, we are burning on both ends. Okay. And then Galamsey is also eating up the cocoa production. Now, we know that Galamsey today is a matter of organized crime. The people who are spending millions of dollars doing LCs, importing hundreds of excavators into Ghana and clearing them and sending them to the bushes are extremely well organized.
Yeah.
And their financiers and all those people are sitting in air conditions offices in Accra. Like Engineer Ken is saying, you can trace if you want to trace. Ghana is a very small country. And everybody knows everything. So look, if we want to do it, it is about how we project and direct government power. I want President Mahama to succeed. But I've said and I've repeated that the indications do not look like he will succeed. Look, he has a short time. What he needs to do is disrupt. And like Ken is saying, if he documents the measures of success, what we need to see, how we need to get there, okay, he can't finish it, but he can start it. And he can disrupt to a point that the next person who will come can take it up and solve it. But now, and I say these things because they are the big elephants in the room we need to deal with.
Right.
We have a creeping situation where our local people are getting comfortable with Galamsey. It is feeding them because of the Galamsey economy. Now Galamsey has become an elite fight, led by Ken and the coalition all of us are part of.
True.
But you have a situation where our people at the local levels have made peace with Galamsey and will become the people who will be fighting us. We need to deal with that dynamic. All right. So in short, it is a projection of government power. And today the projection is looking like it is working on a nefarious angle. It is helping the people who are causing the problem because of the policy incoherence. We want the benefits thereof, but we don't want the problems thereof. And somehow, because of that, the government is not projecting properly. And here, we have a living, sitting example here. We've said it over and over again. That it is local leadership that can stop this thing. Okay? They don't get support. Wherever you don't find Galamsey is the chief and community leaders mobilizing their people to stop it. And they've stopped even people who have licenses, so-called.
Yes.
All right? So we know the solutions. But look, the benefits too are there. And now we get to a point where there are laws called RICO laws. Okay? It's for tracking, racketeering, tracing the money, and catching the big boys. We are not implementing. We are not even passing them. All right? We have community leadership that can be helped. The people who are doing the work, like you say, I said it's a projection of government power. When power changes hands, Andy is here. He's just told you what we've been saying all over the place.
True.
A different set of people go in. There's a story I wanted to tell, but maybe because of time I can't tell. How the mine is owned by somebody. When they change hands, then they switch it to another person. Yeah. And they just play those
And
games.
he just comes to front.
Yeah.
It's the same
So,
scheme.
it is the same powers of the state which are being deployed to protect these people and to continue their mayhem. I don't know where it will stop, but I know for a fact that if we get leadership at the very top to go broke over this matter and say, look, we are going to go all out and disrupt them, there's a price we will pay. The price is the benefit we are getting, okay? The dollars and whatever it is. There's a lot of political financing also coming through that place, all right? And we need to decide that, look, enough is enough. Because, look, we are all paying the price. We'll continue to pay the price, okay? More people are going to die. Okay. And it is the germ of a bigger problem. I've said it over and over and over and over again. I'll repeat. Galamsey in diamonds is what collapsed Sierra Leone, Liberia, and those neighboring countries. Because you had youth who became hardened, militarized, and they became armed, knew the forest, and at a point, they knew they could override the standing army of that country. It just took a spark, somebody to mobilize them, and they melted down their whole nations. We are dealing with an existential problem. We're already facing the consequences thereof. The worst consequences are yet to come. We just mentioned the issue of sacrifices and rituals going on there.
Yeah.
What these people are becoming is a different kind of human being that does not fear anything. And when they break out, we will understand why we are making the calls we are making today. Let's stop it now. It will take the projection of state power to stop it, to do it. Otherwise, we will stand to pay the price in future.
And that disruption that you want as a solution to this, you're not seeing that.
I am not seeing
the kind
that,
of
yes.
the will.
Okay, there is a talk, but I've said that the actions and the kind of commitment, I say the things that need to be done for us to get confidence that this will be dealt with are not being done. We're getting a lot of talk, but I've said and I repeat, watch the action on the ground. Don't watch the talk.
It's the action.
The action on the ground. And if you look at the action on the ground, there is a whole new set of excavators out in the forest now. There are a whole new set of leaders leading the Galamsey fight now. All right. If you see the action on the ground,
a new interest to go into the forest now.
We are mobilizing the outcomes of Galamsey and trying to use that to help the economy instead of stopping Galamsey. So when you put them together, that's why I call it policy incoherence. One side is pushing to the left, another side is pushing to the right. And I'm telling you, we have to decide that, look, there will be some sort of, blowback. There will be a downside, okay, even on the economy, etc. But I think Ghanaians are getting to the point where we are prepared to pay that price to a certain extent. I agree with Ken when he says that the 4-year electoral cycle is a problem, okay? But we need to have what we have called in Imani a rational elite consensus. We all have to come and agree that, look, this is what makes sense, and every country is pushed forward by its elite. And then we talk to our people, we find ways of winning them off what they are learning. Because look, the natural conclusion to what our youth are learning today, working under very terrible conditions, okay, confronting death, getting to know the use of arms, all right, the set of skills that they are building has only one use. And when we get there, we will understand why we need a rational elite consensus to stop this thing, bear the brunt, and fortunately, the brunt is not that bad. If you take Galamsey and cocoa, for instance, if we can do something really good about cocoa, it won't give them as much as Galamsey, but it will hold them.
True.
All right? This country has a lot of construction that needs to be done. If we can find a way to put these guys in some of these things, it won't give them the same money, but it will give them something to hold them. Okay? I have stories of people, drivers' mates, farm hands, construction guys, and these guys, they stopped going to work. And when their leaders, somebody was asked why they were not coming. They said they all went to Galamsey. And I'm telling you, they will tell you today that people are not finding laborers, people are not finding people to work. The guys who are operating the excavators in the mine pits, the operation of an excavator is a skill. And it's very useful in construction and other places.
Yes.
They are deploying those things for mining. We should have a real effort, even if we are going to pay some people, to get them to redirect those things. There will be some downside. But I'm telling you, this pussyfooting about this Galamsey thing, when it tips, there's always a tipping point. And when it tips, we will all have to run away.
You say some DCEs you think should have been fired by now? If indeed this fight against Galamsey
Absolutely.
was happening.
When I said I wasn't going for the president's meeting, and by the way, Imani was represented, I put all of that on Facebook.
Some
All
DCEs
right?
should have been sacked by now.
If I don't see DCEs being sacked, I will never admit that the president is serious. He is your man on the ground. Every Galamsey going on in this country goes on in a district. He can't tell you he doesn't know. If he doesn't know, that is catastrophic incompetence. All right? And if he knows, what is he doing about it? And look, what are we afraid of? Sack DCEs every week. I have said, Ken has repeated, forfeit the lands. Listen, there is benign negligence. I didn't know and something happened. If Galamsey happens on your land, the best you can say as a chief, as a DCE, regional minister, is benign negligence. I didn't know. Benign negligence in the case of Galamsey, which is an existential problem in this country, okay, amounts to catastrophic incompetence. You sit in your office, you ride your pickup or your V8, and you say you don't know that Galamsey is going on, but that's the best. And if you go beyond benign negligence, there is complicity, which is to say, you know what is going on. You've either decided not to do anything about it, or you are actually part of it. I can tell you, more than 50% of the cases, it is complicity. If you have put a person there by your own appointment, and the person is complicit in doing the worst things possible, why do you keep the person there? Then why can't you sack the person?
The extreme side is that those people have organized groups working for them.
I'm coming there. And there's criminal complicity. Those people, that's what he just said. It's not just about somebody coming and you removing your IO. I am telling you that some of those people are actually the people who are doing the organization. They are the links between the financiers in Accra, etc., and the people there. And when the police arrest them and whatever it is, the calls that go around, some are routed through them. They have become protectors of the problem. Okay? So see, if we don't see certain indicators, I will never be convinced that Jubilee House is serious about dealing with Galamsey. And it has to be serious. Okay? And Alfred,
Yes.
I don't see why we can't have a league table. Okay? Where do we have Galamsey? Who are the people there? Sack them every week, appoint new people. All right? That is disruption enough. You know why? If every month there's a new DCE, that person will not be well established in the system to even build their networks properly. Okay? So I'm saying there has to be some disruption of this criminal enterprise, which has the only potential it has is to become a worse problem for us as a country.
Sack DCEs every week.
Sack DCEs every week. Regional ministers are there. Okay? Look, forfeit the lands. When you talk about benign negligence or whatever it is, when you have land and you are the chief and you are the custodian of the land and you sit and you allow that to happen. In fact, in some places, it's grounds for distillment. And I hear in Ashanti, some people have been distilled over that stuff. Okay? So when you sit,
4 or 5 chiefs, yes.
yeah, and if you allow the land to be poisoned, the president holds our resources in trust. Okay? There is legal ground for the land to be taken from you. Because under you have allowed it to be poisoned and destroyed. The minerals there don't belong to you by our law. That's a different argument. But I'm saying there is even sufficient legal grounds for the forfeiture of lands that have been tainted by Galamsey. Let the state own it so nobody legally can go there anymore. All right? If we see some of these actions, and not all of them will be perfect or yield immediate results, but like I'm saying, we need disruption and then we start going in to fix the problem.
There was a point that Engineer Kenashibe was in a conversation with me about a DCE who I interviewed just, I think, about a month ago, Engineer, who, when there's the IGP's task force stormed a particular area, the residents were rather fighting the task force.
Yes. That's what I'm saying.
And I spoke to the DC. DC says, well, you know, they didn't know anything about it. They were not involved in Galamsey.
They were
So
sand winning.
why they were doing sand winning?
Yeah, they
So
protect us now.
why was this task force even there? What were they coming to do? Because they were not coming to stop them from,
They are the people now
from
protecting
sand
them.
winning, which is even illegal, by the
It's
way.
also illegal.
But you see, there was another operation this week, and Matikbebo, I'll come to you before, because of the communities and the DC's approach that Mr. Bentil talks about, which was corroborated by both Andy Apiakobi and Engineer Dr. Kenashigbe. Keep 3 points. There was another operation this week, Keep 3 Point by the NIMOS team. We put that on the screen. That government would consider. I want to do this very quickly. The CEO of Gold Board. No, he hasn't spoken on this. No, the CEO of Gold Board, Sammy Gyamfi, is on the telephone right now. There was a particular statement which was made, which I in fact queried and asked questions of. The specific, yes, he's on the telephone right now. Mr. Gyamfi, can you hear us? Hello?
I can hear you, Alfred.
Yes. There's a quick intervention that you're saying specific about where you are buying the gold from, Gold Board. Where are you buying the gold from?
Yeah, Alfred, thank you, and a very good morning to your esteemed panelists and your cherished viewers across the world. My attention has been drawn to a false statement that one of your panelists, specifically Mr. Kofi Bentil, has made about the sources of gold purchases of the Ghana Gold Board. I understand that he stated categorically that about 85% of small-scale miners in the country are Galamseyers, and therefore 85% of the gold being purchased by Gold Board by inference is coming from Galamseyers. I want to put on record that that statement is totally false. Mr. Bentil should not be allowed to get away with such falsehood on a very important platform such as Key Points on TV3. For the records, Gold Board is a creature of law. The Ghana Gold Board was established under Act 1140 passed by Parliament in 2025. That law provides for how and where Gold Board must buy gold. And if you read it, you'll find out that Gold Board by law is mandated to only buy gold from licensed miners. We buy gold, and Mr. Kenashigbe, who is the head of the Chamber of Mines, will attest to you that there are about 7 large-scale mining companies in Ghana that Gold Board currently buys 20% of their gold. I'm talking about large-scale mining companies. And we buy this gold to shore up our gold reserves. Number 2, when it comes to small-scale miners, the law requires the Gold Board to buy gold or the gold produced by licensed small-scale miners. Now, there are over 2,000 licensed small-scale miners in the country. And that is the primary source of all small-scale gold purchases of the Gold Board. So the Gold Board, by law and by policy, does not deal with illegal miners. We deal with licensed small-scale miners through the Ghana National Association of Small-Scale Miners and the Concerned Small-Scale Miners Association. Now, this is a novelty. This has never happened in the history of Ghana, because since Ghana started producing gold, there has not been any legal and institutional framework that ensures that gold is purchased from licensed miners. So hitherto, you had individual licensees of the PMMC and or the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources buying gold from everybody, irrespective of the source. Then came 2022, when Kofi Bentil's friend, his political mentor, Bawumia, introduced the gold for oil and gold for forex program. I didn't hear Kofi Bentil ask Bawumia and the Bank of Ghana then where they were buying gold from for their gold for oil and gold for forex program. when we decided as a government and as a nation to go into gold purchases, created that legal and institutional framework that mandates us to only buy from licensed miners. Now, to enforce this legal injunction, the president has directed us to do what is provided for under Section 31F of the Gold Board Law, which is to establish a full value chain track and trace system. And the process has started, and we have already given timelines that by first quarter of next year, we will have a track and trace system, which has never happened since Ghana became Ghana. And this system will allow us to trace every gram of gold produced in Ghana and purchased by the Gold Board to its origin mine. So Kofi Bentil lied on your show when he said that the Gold Board gets 85% of its gold from illegal miners. It is not true.
So when
we get our gold from the over 2,000 licensed miners in Ghana.
Right.
Now,
when you make the point...
let me explain something to you, Alfred.
Quickly.
We, as a corporate entity, do not buy gold directly. We buy it from private licensees, like it pertains in the Kuku area.
Right.
So it is possible that a private licensee of the Gold Board, licensed buying agent of the Gold Board, despite the legal requirements of them buying from only licensed small-scale miners, it is possible that you may get some of them breaching this legal provision. That is why we are introducing the track and trace system the president has been talking about, so that we can fish them out, we can segregate the gold, and we can ensure total compliance with this. So you shouldn't sit there and talk about things he doesn't know. Where did he get that figure 85% from?
Okay, so Sammy, since you said your attention was drawn to it, a couple of things. I then would assume that you weren't watching at the time. When he made that statement, yes, I raised queries about that. But then you make a point about you don't buy gold directly from the miners, and that there is a possibility that the licensed gold buyers that you engage would breach the law that mandates that Gold Board buys the gold from only licensed small-scale miners. There's that possibility that they may have bought from illegal small-scale miners that you are not directly aware of and you are not directly engaging. So that's a challenge. So,
my brother, are you aware of any perfect system anywhere in the world? You cannot have a perfect system anywhere in the world. We are saying that, first of all, understand how gold is bought.
Yeah.
Gold is bought in buying offices in district capitals and regional capitals and various towns across the country. Gold is not bought from mining sites. Okay? So when an individual buyer is sitting in his office in Kofi and somebody brings nuggets of gold or gold in the form of a powder, that individual Ghanaian may not have the technology to detect whether that seller is a licensed miner or not. And it is the responsibility of government to put in place the systems that will ensure that that buyer is able to trace the source of that gold. I am saying that Kofi Bentil's friends were in power for 8 years. They started gold purchases under gold for oil and gold for forex. They did not introduce any such system.
Okay.
We, in less than 9 months, are introducing that system that will allow these individual licensed buyers of the Gold Board buying gold for us to be able to detect the sources of the gold and art.
So the traceability is what you are introducing. Any
objective person, Alfred, will comment. And you will not come and say they're throwing figures around.
So the traceability...
85% of small-scale miners are guaranteed. What is the source of that data?
So the traceability is what you are putting in place now to identify this and address the challenge.
Did we ever have a conversation about traceability when Kofi Bentil's mentor Bawumia was vice president and he was doing good for oil and good for forex? No, because they were buying gold without any proper institutional and legal framework. That is different from what is happening now under President Mahama. And he has given clear directives, and we are almost done with this track and trace system. But even in the absence of the track and trace system, go to our website. The terms and conditions of our license are clear. We don't buy gold from illegal miners, and we don't deal with illegal miners. We rather, at the time NIMOS was facing challenges with resources, we rather are giving financial and logistical support to NIMOS to go and fight illegal miners. Why would we do that? Can the kingdom divided among itself stand? And then you don't have any evidence, you don't have any data. You come and sit on national television and you throw a figure, which is a figment of your own imagination out there, that 85% of gold bought goods comes from illegal miners. You should stop that propaganda.
Right. So that, Sammy, it's the point that you make about the traceability is the next phase of the conversation in dealing with this challenge. That's what you have identified.
First of all,
as well.
I want Mr. Kenashigbe, who is a key partner of the gold board there, and who currently is working on that.
Is seated here. In fact,
hold on.
Yes, he corroborates the point that you are making.
On the development of model LBMA certified model mines and refinery and all that, to educate Kofi Bentil that gold board buys large-scale mining gold. Okay. That's number one. Number two, gold board buys a small-scale gold by law from licensed small-scale miners. But we are not hypocrites. So we know that there are over 700 licensed buyers of the gold board who are scattered across the length and breadth of Ghana. Some of them may, at some point, be doing the wrong thing.
Okay.
And we want to be able to check them and make sure that they buy gold for us only from licensed miners.
All right.
That is why in record time, we are doing something which has never been done since the days of Gorgeousness.
Okay.
And you think that we rather deserve criticism and not your friends, Bawumia and Akufo-Addo, who were in power for 8 years, doing gold for oil and gold for forex without any traceability system, without any law, without any legal or institutional framework.
Engineer Dr. Kenashigbe, you reference is seated here on the engagement of the large scale that's companies in doing this. So, Sammy, thank you very much.
And you see, I know that my brother and Minister for Government Communication is
there. So here,
and he will do justice
some of the issues that you have
to
raised.
the issue you are discussing. So I only came in to respond
make this
to the
intervention.
issue, the allegation about gold board buying 80% of his good from Galamsey.
Okay.
As for the issues about illegal mining, my good brother and Minister of Government Communication is there, and I know he will do justice.
Duly noted.
Yes.
Engineer, so
thank you for watching PENDREAM TV. We have really appreciate your time here on PENDREAM TV and say God bless you for the good work you are doing and continue to do. Please, if you are really enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe, like, and also share to other members to watch as well. Don't forget to drop your comments as well at the comment section below. Thank you.
Dedi kama amena PENDREAM TV ase. Now so far so good. Say open online portal e wo Ghana. Nipa share, nipa follow, nipa comment here. To my best of knowledge, without any biases, PENDREAM TV.